Hello, it's Peter and welcome to Facerobics. Today we're going to be doing the update for Exercise Along With Me Series 5. We're going to be doing the forehead exercise. So stay with me and I'll be back soon. Hello, thanks again for coming by. Today we're going to be doing the update to the forehead exercise for Exercise Along With Me Series 5. Now, as you know, as per normal, you do not do these exercises as a one-off exercise for your face. After all this time, I have been teaching you about how you have to be doing a full face routine when you're doing facial exercise. Now, this isn't just my program, this is every single program that you would be doing. Is doing a full face routine will give that perfect lift and it will really start to tone the muscles. But if you were going ahead and just doing one exercise, what happens is that it can cause your muscles to fatigue, it can cause your muscles to compress, and it can cause more wrinkling and sagging. So you really have to be careful what you're doing when you're doing the exercises. And this is why I do the updates for you, so it gives you extra tips to how to dive deeper into doing these exercises. Also, there is a timestamp in the description box below, and that means that you can just click straight to the exercise for when it starts. So let's get on with this exercise. This is a really good exercise because basically what it does is that it starts to exercise this part of your face. And that's what I love about Facerobics, is that we can now, with all the techniques that I've discovered and created, is that we can actually exercise a muscle, we can isolate a muscle and exercise that same muscle but in a different area. It's really exciting stuff, really, to be able to isolate one area of a muscle and exercise it. Right, so with this exercise, you need to use your two fingers, and you hold your fingers in this shape, okay? And when you place it onto your forehead, you place it just above where the Procerus is. All right, so I'm going to show this to you on Dorian. And basically, if I can get him, here he comes. So basically, when you see Dorian, you can see where the Procerus is. Now, let me have a look at him. So when you place your fingers, you need to place them in these positions just above the corrugator. Now, the Procerus isn't shown on Dorian. He does have one, of course everybody has one, but the Procerus sits superficially across this part of your head in between your eyes. This is where the muscle sits, and it's sort of like a triangle shape. So what you need to do is you need to place your fingers just above the corrugator and where the Procerus meets the corrugator. And this is what I was talking about last week. The Procerus is one of those muscles that sits on top of other muscles. So there's a part there, there's like a join here where it sits on top. So this muscle is tucked in underneath it. So it's imperative that you hold that edge where they connect when you're isolating it. So that's where you would place the tips of your fingers. And the other part of your finger sits along the inside of your frontalis. Now I'll show you how to do that. Thank you, Dorian. Okay, so what we do is we place our finger in that position. Okay, so you can see how that's situated. And you can see where the tip of my finger is right where the Procerus and the corrugator meet. All right, so the other finger sits there as well. Now what you do is you press really firmly. And all you're doing is pressing firmly, with this part of your finger. Your knuckle does not lay on the frontalis. All right, is that clear? You do not place, so you're sort of lifting the knuckles up off the frontalis. So let's do this. We've got that one there, and we've got this one. We're pressing. We want to go ahead and lift and isolate this area. The reason for this is because as we're isolating the middle part of the frontalis and the Procerus and the corrugator, it will then allow this part of the forehead to lift and bringing up the temple at the same time. Very hard to move the temple. So this is how we exercise that area, and that gives that lovely taut look and a lovely rolled look of our eye, and it stops our eye from sagging, in that corner. So let's give it a go. Right, so you can put your fingers any way you wish, but the two fingers, the two forefingers or index fingers, need to be laying on the forehead. So then what we do is we lift. And as we lift, we press firmly. So put your shoulders back, sit up straight. So we press firmly as we lift. So you can see how I'm lifting, and I'm keeping the Procerus taut as I'm doing it. I'm pressing firmly, and I'm allowing the area around my temples to lift. Now, you shouldn't be going up and down like this. Your fingers are not moving. They're pressed very firmly using the press and plant technique to isolate that area firmly. So, you can see that I've got marks there now. They will go away. But basically what that does is so basically what's happening is we're isolating the middle part, and in isolating the middle part, that allows this part to move and to lift the temple. So you should be feeling all of this area moving, and you should subtly be feeling the temple moving up and down as well. Now, this will not cause wrinkles on your forehead, and in fact this smooths out the wrinkles on your forehead. So don't worry about the fact that if you think there's wrinkles being created there, they're not. All it is a little bit of skin bunching, because if you have extra skin, when you lift your forehead, it is going to bunch up. But as you can see, mine bunches up, right? But when I'm at rest, there are no wrinkles there. And the same thing will happen for this exercise. So the main points here is you need to use the press and plant technique. You do need to place your fingers in a specific position, just above the corrugator and over the Procerus where they meet. You need to press firmly, and this part of your knuckle does not lay on top or across the frontalis. It is lifted off. So it's sort of lifting off. As you can see, the knuckle, hope you can see it because I can't, the knuckle is lifted. Really important part of the exercise is how you've got the placement, and some exercises it's not so important, but when you're dealing with muscles that sit on top of other muscles, you do need to get that placement correct. And this is what I was talking about last week in the video last week, about how muscles sit on top of other muscles, and that's where the danger points are when you are actually exercising. So this is why you have to place your fingers really firmly and in the correct position, because this area here is very prone to wrinkling. Well, everybody knows that. I mean, this is where we get our thinking lines and our angry lines and all those lines. So we have to really make sure that we're isolating that area where they join very carefully. You'll get it. But you do need to watch the videos over. You can't just watch them like a couple of times. You do actually need to watch the videos again, because you need to refresh yourself on how to do the exercises. The other thing is that when you subscribe to the channel, you'll get all the updates. So make sure to subscribe, please, because that way you'll be updated all the time. The program does change over time, and it's really important that you stick to the program, and that's where you'll get your success. Also, in case you didn't know, I do have an online gym where you can join. Insanely affordable price, and you can join for the year, and you'll have webinars, you have coaching from me, and you can talk to me on a much more personal basis rather than through the channel and comments on the channel. Here's the link. Go ahead and pop it into your browser and you can possibly have a look at it. Look, you have a lovely day wherever you are in the world, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Today we're going to be doing the update and this part of your knuckles does, and this part, odd. Where is it? There. And this part of your knuckle